Hi and welcome to your Volkswagen e-up. To get the best experience from your new electric vehicle, here's a short 5-step guide to get you on your way. Your Volkswagen e-up comes with a real-world range of 125 miles. It has a 33 kWh battery and it can maximum DC charge up to 37 kilowatts. If storage is key for you, your Volkswagen e-up comes with a boot size of 251 litres. With the rear seats folded, that extends to 923 litres. Every electric car is very different, and there's no exception with the Volkswagen e-up. Let's get you round the basics and on the road. Accessing your Volkswagen e-up is effortless. Your pocket-sized key fob will allow you to unlock and lock the car remotely. In the cabin, it will feel very familiar. Before we get on to step 2, let's get you comfy in the cabin first. To get your driver's seat in the right position, you can use the lever at the front of the seat to move the chair forward and backwards. On the side of the chair there is a lever which will adjust your seat height. And then on the inside of the seat, next to where the handbrake is, you will have a second lever which will allow you to adjust the back support. To adjust your steering wheel, you can do this by releasing the lever underneath the steering column. The steering wheel will move upwards and downwards until you find your ideal position. Let's adjust the climate in your Volkswagen e-up. The top half of your center console is where you need to find everything for your climate. Starting at the top, you have your buttons to increase and decrease your fan speed. To the left of the display, you have your red button and blue button. This is to increase and decrease the temperature of the cabin. And on the far left, you have your rear windscreen and front windscreen heater options. Underneath that, and also to the right, mirroring the same button, you have your seat heating. And finally across the center, you have your air conditioning button and also your directional airflow controllers. Next, let's have a look at the controls behind the steering wheel. On your right stalk, you'll find your settings for your windscreen wiper. And on the left stalk, you will find your options for cruise control and also your indicators. To change your headlight settings, this can be found to the right of the steering wheel, just above your knee. On your steering wheel you will have an array of buttons. On the left hand side you'll be able to control your media. On the right hand side you can cycle through your vehicle information on the driver's display. Let's head over to the driver's display. This is split into 3 areas. Starting on the left, you can see your power settings. When the needle falls into the green area, you are putting energy back into the battery. Moving into the center, you have your traditional speedo, and underneath that you have your screen which displays the current time, the gear you have selected, which in this case is P for park, your range, and also the outdoor temperature. And finally, moving over to the right is your battery state of charge, starting from 1 at the top, which is a full battery, all the way to 0 at the bottom, which is empty. Now you're familiar with the cabin, let's get you on to step 2. Let's show you how to start your Volkswagen e-up and get you on the road. Starting your car is effortless and can be done by inserting your key into the ignition. Turning the key forward will illuminate the screen and switch the vehicle on. To put the vehicle into gear, you will need to put your foot on the foot brake to engage the gears. You're now ready to drive your car, so let's head over to step 3. Your Volkswagen e-up has an automatic transmission, so let's show you how to get into gear and get you on your way. Your gear selector is conveniently located to the left of your driver's seat. To select a gear, you must place your foot on the foot brake first. Using the gear lever and pulling in the button on the top of the gear lever, you can select a variety of gears, from P to park, R to reverse, N for neutral, D for drive, and B if you want to drive with some regenerative braking. Located behind the gear lever is your handbrake. Once the handbrake is released and you've selected the drive gear, you can now use the accelerator pedal and get on your way. Whilst driving the car, you may wish to use the cruise control function. This can be switched on the left stalk by hitting the trigger button on the top into the on position. At the end of the stalk you have a set button which you need to press next to activate the cruise control. That same button will also allow you to increase and decrease your speed. So let's have a look at step 4. We live a very connected lifestyle and we can do that in the car as well. So let's have a look at the Volkswagen e-Up's multimedia system. First of all, let's get your smartphone connected to the car. On your infotainment screen, we're going to switch the stereo on with the on button. On the right hand side, we've got a menu button, we're going to hit that next. Using the arrow keys, we're going to scroll across until we get to system settings. Click OK on here. Using the volume button on the right, we're going to scroll down to Bluetooth. Press the volume button in to select it. We're going to scroll down again to search for devices. Once we've got to there, press the button in again. The car is now going to look for your smart device. Make sure your Bluetooth is switched on, and when the car identifies your device, at this point we're going to use the volume button to select it. Pairing will now begin and you'll be prompted on the screen to accept the pair. Make sure your passcodes do match up. Once you've paired your smartphone with the car, you'll also be asked if you'd like to sync your contacts. Now you're ready to play your audio and your music through the car stereo. Your Volkswagen e-Up has been designed to use your smartphone as an integrated satellite navigation tool. The cradle on the top of the dash will fit your phone perfectly. Don't worry if your phone's too small or too large, the cradle can be adjusted with a button underneath to make the cradle larger or smaller. You can clamp your phone tight to make sure it's securely fastened. As you're connected to the car via the Bluetooth, you will hear all your directions through the car speakers. Behind the cradle is a USB port where you can plug in your phone to make sure it's conveniently charged whilst in use. And that completes step 4. And that ties us nicely into the final step, which is how to charge your electric car. So let's review the 3 different ways we can charge your Volkswagen e-Up. Your charging port is located at the rear driver's side of the car, just behind the rear wheel. Unlocking the charge port can be done by unlocking the vehicle. Once it's unlocked, you can open the flap manually with your hand. 2 protective bungs protect the charge port. The top half is for your AC Type 2 to Type 2 connector, and the bottom half will allow you to insert a much larger DC rapid charging connector. Let's discuss your charging options. There are 3 ways you can charge your Volkswagen e-Up. The first is a domestic 3-pin Type 2 connector. This is the slowest option and will charge up to 2.5 kilowatts. This charging cable doesn't come with your subscription, but you can add it for a small charge. The more conventional way is a fast charge, using a Type 2 to Type 2 connector, which will charge up to 7 kilowatts on your Volkswagen e-Up. This cable comes as standard with your subscription. Your third and final option is a rapid DC charger. This uses a much larger connector than the 2 previously discussed. DC rapid chargers can normally be found alongside A and B roads and motorway services. If you're AC charging, take your Type 2 to Type 2 connector and plug it into the AC port on your charge port. But don't forget to allow at least 30 seconds for your car to communicate with the charger. To monitor your charge, jump into your vehicle and look at the driver's display. On your display, it will indicate how long the charge is remaining to get to 100%, and if you switch your ignition on, you'll also be able to see what your current range is. To stop your charge, you can either lock and unlock the vehicle, or alternatively press the charging icon just in front of the gear lever, which is flashing amber. And once you've unplugged, don't forget to close the charger port door. To DC rapid charge your Volkswagen e-Up, you can plug into the same port as your Type 2 to Type 2 AC connector port. But remember to take the bung out at the bottom of the port because you will need the additional space available to plug in the much larger handle. To finish your DC rapid charge, you will need to hit stop on the DC charger unit first before you can unplug the connector. You are now set to go and you should have everything in your toolkit to drive your electric car.